Today I fucked up by explaining what a parable was to my boss. So I live in the South or the USA, right smack dab in the middle of the Bible Belt. But I myself never really bought into the whole Christian beliefs. That being said, I was raised up with knowledge on the Bible and have actually read the whole thing in its entirety. I'm now an adult, got a job at a factory and all that. Well, most of my coworkers and especially my boss are very Christian. So today in the break somehow my friends and I were talking about the Bible. Someone said that I didn't have the right to talk cuz I didn't even believe in it. To which I replied, I guess, but I probably know more about it than you even if I don't believe it. And so he started kinda quizzing me about different things in the Bible. Meanwhile my boss walks into the break room and is at the vending machines listening. At a certain point my friend asked me if I knew about the unforgiving servant. I said, of course it's a parable in the Bible blah blah blah. Well, my boss interjects by saying, hey, what's a parable? Now keep in mind this guy isn't like head of the factory or anything and is only like one league above me in the chain of command. And this guy's pretty dumb, to be honest. I'm not even sure he went through middle school. He's also the type of Christian who's a total hypocrite. Like hell, talk about how much he loves God then wish death on all the gays. Total garbo. Anyway. So I explained to him that a parable was a story in the Bible that's made up to try. Well, before I could even finish he explodes on me saying that no part of the Bible is made up. None. So I try to calm him down and I say, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this part was literally made up by Jesus to try and teach a lesson of something, and of course he blows up again. It's all real, none of it's fake. Just cuz you don't believe, don't go shitting on my Bible. I love God, it's all real. Sure. All I'm saying is that these specific parts are intentionally made up to teach a lesson. They didn't literally happen, it all fucking happened. I know in my heart that it's all real. Blah blah blah. So I try to pull up on my phone the definition, thinking if he could see the Google definition it would make him realize that it isn't an opinion, that's just how it is. He refused to even look at it. He's barely spoken to me since. Either way, I thought the whole situation was funny and that maybe someone would find some enjoyment from it. Too long, did not read. Tried to teach my uneducated bigot boss a definition and got put on the shit list for doing it. Just wait till he learns what an allegory is. You have my deepest respect for not bursting into uncontrollable laughter. That's an interesting question that I've never thought about. Saying for the sake of an argument that Jesus was a real person, who really did sit people down one day and tell them a story about, e.g. a Good Samaritan. Was he supposed to be telling a story about a real incident, or did he make up the story on the spot to illustrate the point? I bet there's church sects who've had serious arguments about that. It was the made-up wording that got him. After his first objection, I might have reworded my point to say a parable is a story, designed, or, told in a way, to illustrate a moral principle. Because whether the underlying story is actually made up or actually true is irrelevant to the point it makes. But, man. That guy's faith seems pretty fragile. Christian here. The definition for a parable I grew up hearing was that it is an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. It is indeed Jesus telling a story to illustrate a specific idea. Your supervisor is crazy because your definition was spot on. It's one thing to believe that the Bible is full of historical stories, but another to believe that everything is literal historical fact. You work with a bunch of indoctrinated morons. As Ricky Gervais said, as an atheist I disbelieve in 2,700 different gods, and as a Christian they disbelieve in 2,699 gods, apart from one, so that makes us real close in our beliefs. Yeah, don't talk about religion at work. Today I fucked up by telling my coworker his wife should get an abortion. Obligatory. This happened a few hours ago. I am on a desktop, and English is my first language. All mistakes are on account of my own incompetence. I'm outside earlier today chatting with a coworker, who wanted my opinion on getting a 7-seater vehicle similar to the one that I have. I go over the pros and cons, and tell him to avoid a specific model year. Then I say, dude, now is a really bad time to be buying any car. You might want to wait a little bit until this whole chip shortage thing figures itself out. My dude revealed his wife was pregnant, and he really had not much choice in the matter. I smile, and make a gesture below my belt in a waving, cutting motion. Hey dude, I know a doctor who can help you out. To which he deadpan responds, nah, she's 33 weeks, that's not gonna work. It took me a minute. What I meant to indicate was, hey, my dick doc can snip cock, aka I know a good urologist. After what felt like an uncomfortable 1.25 seconds, I tried to laugh it off and said, "Dude. Not her, you." I smiled and shuffled away. Too long did not read. Meant to tell coworker he should get his cock and balls snipped. He thought I meant his wife should get a borscht. Have fun. Randomly remember this conversation in about 7 years as you're trying to fall asleep. Upvoted for the intro if nothing else. I once told a coworker that if it wasn't for Planned Parenthood I'd have like 30 babies. Years later as I'm trying to fall asleep, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I realize why it got weird. I meant because they provided me with low-cost healthcare and birth control. She thought I meant I'd had a bunch of abortions. Oops. LMAO. I mean, at 33W Pregante a vasectomy is similarly not going to change anything. Borscht. Thank you for this fine addition to my vocabulary. Op you rascal. I thought you told her on purpose and I was trying to think of a scenario in which that was appropriate. But I see what you did. And lol. Tells you where his head is at. There might be a chip shortage, but we could snip to give your dick a shortage. Today I fucked up by violently shitting in my toddler's potty. This evening after dinner I was cleaning up and started feeling a rumbly in my tummy. I called my husband, who I thought was downstairs, to come up and watch our toddler as I needed to poop. I couldn't wait for him so I ran up the stairs trusting he would arrive shortly. I was clenching for dear life as I rounded the corner into our bedroom. I threw open the bathroom door and to my absolute horror, saw my husband sitting on our toilet. I screamed something unintelligible and in a blind panic all I could think to do was aim for the mini potty my 2-year-old daughter uses in our bathroom. Shortly after everything in my bowels was ejected, my daughter came into our bathroom looking for us because obviously her dad never showed up to watch her. I watched her tiny face morph from confusion to abject horror as she realized what happened. It got worse once I realized there was no way to ever clean that potty enough for her to use it again and bagged it up for the trash. My daughter started freaking out and having an all-out toddler meltdown saying that I ruined her potty that she loves more than anything in the world. Thanks to Amazon Prime a new one is arriving between 7:00–11:00 tomorrow. Too long did not read. I had violent diarrhea in my toddler's mini potty, she became enraged, a new one is arriving tomorrow. It will be great when she tells everyone this story. The shit moms go through, am I right? Bah dum tss. Just be thankful she'll likely forget this as she gets older. Your husband? Not so much. My mother-in-law pissed in a cat box once, so there's that. I don't understand what could have been so bad that the potty couldn't have been cleaned. I'm scared. I can smell this post. Hope this gets on our copypasta. I didn't read your horrible story but I gave the upvote. Sometimes a headline can replace 1,000 words that I laughed at but would probably regret reading the whole thing. Today I fucked up by bringing up Ukraine-Russian war and losing my best friend. Sorry if I don't write well, English is not my main language. Also I am part Ukrainian and have relatives in Ukraine which makes the situation more heated. I also live in the Baltics which I address to make story more clear. So me and my at the time best friend met up to watch football. Everything was going great, we were talking about everything: family, girlfriends, work, studies and making jokes. Everything was going well until we started talking about the war. Long story short, my friend supports Putin since Zelensky has angered Putin and that Ukrainians should surrender so more people don't die. He also has seen Ruski propaganda in which Ukrainians have Nazis flags. But there is a thing that I just absolutely cannot forgive and I got very angry about is that he said that Russians should take over the Baltics since the government is complete garbage, and would also give a second breath to business owners so he could start one. He has family here, father police officer who would have to possibly even go to frontline, and he says Russia should take over. After the stuff he said I am just going to honestly say what it is: complete idiotism and shit. After that we were arguing even more. Me trying to explain that his family would be in danger, he could himself possibly die, me as well, and a lot more innocent people would die. He I guess didn't care and he didn't agree with what I said. I just said, Edi Nawi, turned my back and left. Too long did not read. Got into a heated argument with my best friend, which I theoretically started since I bringed it up and lost a friend. Edit. Thank you everyone for your kind words and advice. I didn't expect this post to get so much traction. I have decided that I will not write my friend or amend this situation, but if he comes through first messaging me, apologizing, then I will decide whether to keep being friends or at least end the friendship on good terms. Again, thank you everyone for kind words and courage regarding my relatives. Slava Ukraini. Didn't fuck up. You make friends and you lose friends. Sometimes slowly, sometimes like this. It would have been brought up somehow. I can't even remember how I lost my first best friend. You didn't fuck up. And as the saying goes, with friends like that who needs enemies? I have a friend, business partner in Estonia. I'm curious if they are panicking? I want to message him to make sure things are cool. But I don't want to bring it up and I don't know where he stands. How are things in the Baltic? Better to know who they are than not. No, you didn't fuck up. You just found out what your friend is really like. I'll be your new friend. You didn't foo. I live in Lithuania and Putin needs to be ended and it has to be by the Russian people. That dude is complicit in the war. Just wondering, if I remember right, the Baltics have a quite large Russian ethnicity population who settled during Soviet Union times and stayed after independence. Estonians I met told me they were worried about a growing influence of Putin propaganda on these people. Are you or your friend part of this Russian-speaking minority in your country? How are these populations feeling about the current events?